You know, sometime in life, you think you're doing something, but in fact, things aren't what they appear to be. Like I was recording something, and I thought I was recording. I'm talking for a long time, and then this thing suddenly turns off, and I realized I didn't press the record button. Duh. But anyway, here's the thing. No one can reach a conclusion for you, but you. You have to reach your own conclusions. I mean, people can present facts to you. They can present all kind of information. But you have to look at that and compare it to so many different things. And you have to come to your own conclusion. I think that's the one thing that when we look at what's true. You know, I can show you this little plastic thing, for example, and tell you that this is green. But you can look at it for yourself and see whether or not what I'm telling you is true. Is it true? Is this really green? Or is it blue? Now, you could either listen to my words and totally ignore what your senses are telling you. Or you can pay attention to what your senses are telling you and use that as the measure of whether or not my words are true. I think this is true with so many things. You know, there are a lot of times we get books that reach conclusions. You know, a book that might come to the conclusion that about being bright-sided, so to speak, like that book by Barbara Enright, or books like Christopher Hitchens' book, God is Not Great, which I just bought, by the way. I wanted to read that book. I actually wanted to buy it at some point, but I kept thinking, well, I've been spending so much money on books. Then I happened to go to the bookstore and get this pristine copy of it that was really like a fraction of what it normally costs. Why they had it so cheap, I don't know. I think because the hardcover, they weren't selling it at that particular bookstore, but they were selling the paperback copy, and the paperback is like 3 times what I paid for the book. So I got it. So now I have, the Four Horsemen books, right? I got The God Delusion, Breaking the Spell, The End of Faith, and now God is Not Great. So I'm reading these books. But all those books are conclusions. They're conclusions. And I think about what Abraham Maslow said. And he was talking about psychology and stuff. But I think you can apply it here. Read them. Read them for the facts. But not for the conclusions. You have to reach your own conclusion about things. You have to look at things and come to your own conclusion. There are a lot of people who put out videos about things. They tell you that, faith in God is silly and stupid and nuts and crazy and whatever. And then there are people who tell you, you should believe in God because if you don't, you're going to burn in hell and this, that, and the other thing. Everybody gives you their conclusions. But I don't really care for conclusions. I reach my own conclusion. I look at the facts. And I think the same thing should apply to my videos. People should look at it. Look at the facts. Check it out. And think. My conclusions don't mean anything. They really don't. They don't count for nothing. But it's always interesting to me how some people can sit there and talk about things. And become authorities. I'm not an authority on anything. I'm just a guy with an opinion and a video camera. And that's the truth.